Welcome to Lie Detection. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic: how to tell if someone is lying right to your face. People putting on masks, trying to pull the wool over your eyes. We're going to equip you with the tools you need to spot a liar a mile away. Let's get started. The window to deception. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and that's especially true when it comes to lying. Honest folks, they look you straight in the eye. They hold that gaze because they've got nothing to hide. Liars, on the other hand, they're shifty. They're looking everywhere but at you. They might glance up, down, side to side, anything to avoid that direct connection. And you know why? Because deep down, they know what they're saying isn't the truth. Now, I'm not saying every time someone looks away, they're lying. But it's a red flag, folks. It's a sign that something isn't right. Pay attention to those eyes. They'll tell you a story if you know how to read them. You gotta look for consistency, too. Some liars, they'll overcompensate. They'll stare you down, trying to convince you with their eyes. But that ain't natural either. Real honesty, it's effortless. It's about connection, not intimidation. So trust your gut. If something feels off about the way someone's looking at you, there's probably a reason. The truth teller. Listen, our bodies, they talk. Even when our mouths are shut, our bodies are sending out signals. When someone's being truthful, they tend to be more relaxed. Their posture is open. They might use their hands when they talk, natural-like. But liars, they're fighting that lie from the inside out. It manifests in their body language. They might fidget, touch their face, cross their arms, anything to create a barrier. Pay attention to those micro-expressions, too. Is their body language consistent with their words, or is there a disconnect? Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Stuttering towards the truth. The way someone talks can be just as revealing as the words they're saying. When someone's lying, their speech patterns can change. They might start talking faster, trying to get the lie out before they're caught. Or they might stumble over their words, repeat themselves, use a lot of ums and ahs. It's like their brain's working overtime, trying to keep the story straight. Liars often contradict themselves without even realizing it. They might say one thing, then later on, say something completely different. Honest folks, on the other hand, they're clear and concise. So pay attention to how people talk, not just what they say. Listen for those subtle cues, those inconsistencies that might indicate something ain't right. The mask slips. The face, folks, it's supposed to be a reflection of our emotions. But liars, they try to control that reflection. They put on a mask, hoping you won't see what's really going on underneath. But here's the thing, it's darn near impossible to fake genuine emotion. Look for those telltale signs of deception: a tight smile that doesn't reach the eyes, a furrowed brow that contradicts their words, a fleeting look of panic. Honest folks, their emotions are written all over their face. So trust your gut. If something feels off about someone's facial expressions, there's probably a reason for it. Truth in feelings. Now, folks, emotions are powerful things. And when someone's lying, their emotions can betray them. Liars often try to control their emotions. They might try to appear calm, cool, and collected when they're actually scared to death of getting caught. Honest folks, their emotions are genuine and spontaneous. Their words match their feelings, and their body language reflects their emotional state. So pay attention to those emotional responses. Do they seem appropriate for the situation, or are they delayed, exaggerated, or just plain missing? The devil's in the details. Listen, folks, lies, they rarely stand up to scrutiny. When you start digging into the details, that's when the cracks start to show. Liars often struggle to keep their stories straight. They might forget what they said, change their story, or leave out important details. And when you ask them to clarify, they get flustered, defensive, start pointing fingers. Honest people, they don't have a problem providing context. They can answer your questions directly without all the hesitation and backpedaling. They're not afraid to go into the nitty-gritty because they know they've got nothing to hide. So, don't be afraid to ask questions. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to spot a liar. The truth doesn't change. Here's the thing about the truth, folks. It's constant. It doesn't change with the wind. Honest people, they tell the same story, even when they're asked about it weeks, months, or even years later. Liars, on the other hand, their stories have a way of shifting over time. They might add new details, omit old ones, or even change their entire account of events. So if you're dealing with someone you suspect of lying, pay attention to how their story holds up over time. Or do they start singing a different tune when the pressure's on? If someone's telling the truth, there's no need to change their story. Spot those liars. Thanks for watching, folks. Now you've got the tools to spot a liar from a mile away. Remember, knowledge is power. Use it wisely. Now go out there and trust your gut. And hey, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. See you next time.